The views and opinions expressed on the One Mark podcast are those of the authors or guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of One Mark. Any content provided by our guests or authors are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.
In the EFF, we say, let us expropriate the land without compensation.
We don't have a safe house in the whole of Northwest.
It is the responsibility of a person who's alleging on corruption to report corruption.
You'd find leaders uttering things like Northwest belongs to the Tswanas,
and we cannot vote for someone that has created load shedding and water shedding in 30 years of democracy.
South Africa, we've got porous borders. That's where we need to start. We need to make
Hello, Dumelang, Absheni, Molweni, Sanbonani, Lochani, Khoyadag. Welcome to the One Mark podcast, where we delve into real conversations about civil rights education. I am one of your hosts, Innocent Mohammed Kharibe ya Motswana mo Afrika Borwa, and I am pleased to have you join us as we embark on this beautiful educational journey. Welcome to the second episode of our Town Hall series. Today, we find ourselves in Rustenburg in the Northwest Province, where 7 political parties will be hosted in this elections debate. The purpose of this election in Indaba is to unpack key issues that are faced by the Rustenburg region. But before we hear what the politicians and the representatives from civil society have to say, let's take it to my co-host Mbali, who will be talking to community members and hearing what their expectations are today.
Thank you so much for allowing to talk to us. Please kindly introduce yourself.
My name is Dimaka Tsokodise from Patsima, Ward 1. I'm in Tsisimologa Foundation.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you please just tell us about some of the issues that you guys are currently facing here in Rustenburg?
In Rustenburg, we are facing so much challenges that need so much attention, especially from the municipality, especially in Patsima, the place where I'm coming from. We are struggling with electricity, water, and roads. The tar roads are out of control, like nothing is fine there. The tsela tsa teng di ga di shapo. Di skontiri ga di ruwa ba ira di kontiri tse leng gore after 6 months go changeile ke di pothole mo gare, so re need something se se permanent like the N4. Mo di N4 ga re ka tsara lebella go dirisiwa di tendera tse leng gore maybe batho ba teng ba tlhaloganya story sa bone, and then ko metseng go dirisiwa batho ba mo metseng ba leng gore gape le bone ba ja tšhelete batho bao ba dirisa dilo tse leng gore material a teng o cheapy, dilo tsa teng ga di last, so re tlhoka something se leng gore se tlo ba permanent. And then motlakase go na le di stand tse dintsi tse leng gore ga di na motlakase go Patsima. All right.
Okay. What are your expectations coming into today's event? What is it that you're hoping that our political parties will be talking about?
My expectations are a way forward for dilo tse leng gore di a diragala currently. Tšhelete e kgone managewa pila, ga budget e tswile e dirisiwe pila, and then go se ke go nna le botsotsi bo bontsi le di-election re electeng someone e leng gore ra itse le rona gore o reasonable o sharp le gore a ka dirisa tšhelete sharp wa bona, unlike go votela gape batho ba leng gore ga ba re fe ntho e re batlang, mara ka nako ya di-vote no yana ke gone go leng busy ba bankanya for gore ba bankanya teng, so I need something se leng gore ba sira each and every time ga ba bona go senyegile e seng gore ba emele gore go votiwe pele e be go bankanyiwe. Thank you.
Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us. Please introduce yourself and the area where you're from.
Okay, my name is Alice Piri from Alke Foundation. We are based in Phokeng in Rustenburg. Our objectives as an NPO, we are dealing with gender-based violence.
Okay, thank you so much. Alice, talk to us about some of the issues that you're currently facing in Rustenburg.
Lack of service delivery is the key point that even today we are here as organizations. Service delivery, we just want to see the municipality rendering a good service delivery.
All right, we would also like to know, coming into today's event, what are some of the expectations? We'll be having different political parties, we'll be talking, outlining their manifestos. What is it exactly that you'd like to hear them talking about?
I want to hear them maybe talking about electricity, which is the most. I think we have to talk about electricity today because we have solars, we've got solars that are coming. So we just want to hear most of the political party telling us how they are going to tackle these electricity issues.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. May you also tell us why is it important for community members to know the different political manifestos as we prepare to go to the polls on the 29th?
Okay, for us as community to know more about manifestos, that will help as community to know more about each and every political party's manifestos so that it can assist us as a community to at least make a choice on voting. Because manifestos outline what the company, what the organization stands for and what they intend to do. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Tate, thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us. Please introduce yourself to our viewers at home.
Okay. Thanks, ma'am. I'm Joseph Tabane. I'm from Ward 25, Munakato. Yes, ma'am.
And Tate Joseph, are you voting in the upcoming elections? Why and why not?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to vote in these elections as I've been voting before. My vote now is going for MK because I want to change what the ANC have failed to do. You see, like issue of service delivery in Rustenburg. Even last week, we have seen other community members in a march here. You see, so it's my problem. There's no service delivery. So many things are lacking here in Rustenburg.
Okay.
Yes.
So, coming in today's meeting, what were you expecting to hear from the political parties as they come and speak to you guys? What are you hoping to hear from them?
From all the political parties. Okay. Yeah. Yes. What I want to hear in today's meeting, political tolerance during the election.
Okay.
You see, free lobbying. No one must be intimidated wherever in their jurisdictions. So many things I'm expecting. I'm expecting the elections to be free and fair, to get a code of conduct and the likes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm a political parties now, like the different parties, that you would like to hear them talking about Sikona Namhlanje in today's meeting?
Yes, what I want to hear from them is that at least they must think about the communities, because we are here as leaders and we are also community members. So what we are doing here, everything we are saying or we are doing, we are representing our communities. Yes. So what I just wanted to see all the political organizations being united, no violence, nothing more, just good things. Yes.
Thank you so much Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us. Please kindly introduce yourself.
I'm Kobano Mutibi. I'm a Bachelor of Business Administration graduate and I'm a model. And I registered voter for the 29th May voter elections.
Yeah. Tell me, why did you register to vote?
Firstly, because I am a born free child. That I appreciate our democracy, and we've been taught so much about how important it is to have a democratic Republic of South Africa. You know, so I understand the freedom to vote because pre-1994 that was not possible. So I'm also taking part in that right to vote because I understand how important it is.
So, coming into these elections and understanding your rights as a young person in South Africa, what are your expectations for these coming elections?
I am expecting change in the sense that there are a lot, the stats say there are a lot more young people who are going to vote this year than ever before. So that's the first thing that I'm proud of. So that is the first step in us as the youth understanding how important our vote is. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to the current ruling party seeing that they no longer have that dominion that they used to have, because people now are realizing that there are other more parties that are there. So that means that 57% that they had in the 29 elections is going to drop more, because now former President Jacob Zuma has formed his own party. So that means he's taking a large part of that audience and he's taking it, moving away from it. And now other parties are also taking part in pushing forward their mandate, and we're going to see how much they believe they can make a change in South Africa.
Okay. Coming into today's event, we have different political parties who will be outlining their political manifestos. What are you expecting and hoping to hear from them?
I'm expecting to learn more about their manifesto, because I believe when they come to a community like this, they're making people aware of what they're bringing to the table. And then once people are aware of what the party is bringing to the table, they'll be able to make a more informed decision when they are voting, instead of just voting because you saw a poster, voting because you like a particular person. But you must vote with the awareness of what is that party bringing and how is it going to make an impact in my life, by virtue of having panelists that understand that what they are going to be talking about will make an impact in someone else's life.
All right. Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us.
Re bitsa lebitso la gago e nne wena o tsamaisang tiro e mabaledi wa bophelo gonne ntle le wena ga gona sepe se se siamang Jehova. Re makoko re ikokobeditse pele ga gago ntate, re go bitsa re go tshepile o tla tsamaisa tiro e sentle. Na ba batlileng kwano Jehova botlhale le kitso o ba netse tsotlhe Jehova tse ba ka di dirang go ya ka lebitso la gago le le matla. Ke go bitsa ke go tshepile ntate. Na matona a rona go araba dikarabo tsa rona ka boikokobetso mmamaledi ntle le ntwa Jehova. Ba ne botlhale ba go araba dipotso tse di tlong go budiwa ntate le botlhe ba batlileng kwano bitsong le le matla la ntate le la morale mo ya galalelang. Amen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Tla ke thome ke go dumedisa pele ke welcome everyone to our very first in Rustenburg election Indaba. Give it up.
Aye, comrades, aye. Aye, comrades, aye. So today it's not your normal debate that you see on TV, our leaders fighting who did not do what, who did what, who should do it better, right? Today we want to encourage more people to go and vote, right? And why should they vote for EFF? Why should they vote for ANC? Why should they vote for MK? So today our parties need to sell themselves. We don't want them attacking each other. So same applies to you as our leaders on the floor, right? So you are going to get an opportunity to ask questions, but those questions are meant to highlight or to assist our leaders to tell us more about their strategies to deal with certain issues that are affecting us in our community, in our communities. Is that okay? Are we okay with that? We don't want to see people fighting, killing each other here. We all one. We are all South Africans. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to a fruitful discussion.
Good day. Welcome to this important election debate. We are extremely excited to have you here today. I will be your moderator. My name is Dr. Sizwe Mpofu Walsh. I'm the host of SMWX, the YouTube channel that I hope you all watch and subscribe to. Today, we have an important debate, and I'd like to explain how the day will flow. First, I will ask one question to each of our esteemed party members here, and that question is simply, why should people vote for your party? Then, we have an array of civil society organizations here, so they will each ask one question to the entire panel, and the panel will respond. And then, we will open the debate up to members of the floor, members of the audience, and you'll be able to ask your questions to our various different parties. Now, I would just ask you once again to make this a respectful day. Of course, you support your side of the game, but let's also be respectful to the other views. But while we do that, can I just ask one question before we start? What is the party to vote for in this election? Okay. I think we have a debate. Okay. Representing the Democratic Alliance, we have Luan Snyders. He is a dedicated councillor in the Rustenburg local municipality. Representing the MK party, her name is Bosa Ledwaba, but she's not a member of Bosa. Representing the Economic Freedom Fighters, we have Primrose Bogatsu. Representing Rise Mzansi, we have Lawrence Manaka. A round of applause. And representing Bosa, we have Stevens Mokhalapa. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's proceed with our debate. And I'll begin with a question to the ANC, and we'll then begin from there with the other parties. Why should people vote for your party? And just a reminder that you have 2 minutes to respond to the question. So thank you very much. Mr. Sebehwe, you may begin.
At this point in time, 30 years down the line, having gone through various phases of development, we want to put it very clear. The current focus with the African National Congress is to make South Africa work. To make South Africa work is only through creation of jobs, and necessarily jobs that are sustainable under very difficult circumstances coming from COVID. And second to that is to ensure that we expand our industries and to make them, to modernize our industries, which is where most of our jobs will be coming from, and to also transform that financial sector. You would know that the current financial sector has actually been benefiting the haves as against the have-nots as a result of the high living standard in terms of the interest rates that we have. This must be tackled so that there can be affordability amongst our people, particularly, and also to reduce the cost of living, and also to ensure that we invite investment. To do so, it means we have to stabilize the country so that we attract the international role players to come and invest in the country.
Right. Thank you very much. A round of applause for Mr. Sebehwe.
Well, the Democratic Alliance has a very well and good track record in the Western Cape. Why should you vote for the DAs so that we can create 2 million new jobs, and load shedding and water shedding? What we have seen with water shedding is that it affects small businesses as well as load shedding. And we cannot vote for someone that has created load shedding and water shedding in 30 years of democracy. We need to abolish cadre deployment in favor of merit-based appointments. We have seen that cadre deployment has affected service delivery on local government level, provincial level, as well as national level. And that is why you need to vote for the DA, to make sure that we deliver for the people and putting the people first. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Economic Freedom Fighters, as we know, that is a revolutionary socialist economic emancipation movement. We also pride ourselves for being the vanguard of the poor of the poorest. Hence, since the formation of the EFF, we have successfully championed and led the country into the discussion of the amendment of the Constitution to realize the expropriation of land without compensation for equal redistribution. We have also used the parliamentary participation to ensure that the National Assembly adopts a resolution to call on government to close the Israel embassy in South Africa. We have also championed the insourcing of
security guards and cleaners through our motions in various councils and parliament and legislatures. We have also successfully been in the side of the poor of the poorest in ensuring that we protest against the social ills that are happening in the country. Hence we say, let's vote for EFF. EFF will bring change. Thank you.
Now, we've heard from some of the established parties. Let's hear from some of the new kids on the block. Ms. Ledwaba from MK Party. Why should people vote for MK?
Thank you, Program Director. As a newborn baby, we are not going to promise anything that it's not worth it, that the babies can promise. We are a party that started by the president who developed a lot of infrastructure in this country than any other president. We are a party that was started by the president who made sure that our people got ARVs and Nevirapines in the clinics. We are a party that is coming to claim what is supposed to be us, that we have lost along the way. As MK, we are going to claim our sovereignty in this country. We are going to claim our economy that we have lost in this country. We are going to take back our land that has been taken from us. We are going to make sure that we don't export our raw material from this country to other countries. Keeping the raw material and getting our beneficiations that simply means that we are going to create a lot of jobs. We are the ones that you have been waiting for. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Let's come to Bosa, Mr. Mokhalapa.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. From Build One South Africa, why you should be voting for us is that we want to bring power back to the people. We want to make sure that all the public representatives are directly elected so that you know who represents you in parliament, who represents you in the legislatures, and ultimately who represents you in local government. Our key offer is one. We want to put a job in every home. How do we do that? We want to ensure that we revive our township economy and making sure that all those factories within our townships are revived and are creating jobs. So the most important thing is to put a job in every home. The second one is about the reform of our education sector. We need to skill our young people. We need to push the pass rate from 30% to 50% so that our young people can be competitive. The third one is to deal with crime and corruption. We are proposing that we localize our policing so that the local community can be able to know who their station commander is, and there is collaboration between the private security as well as the SEPs and as well as the Metro Police. Fourthly, we are proposing an effective and efficient government so that our government can be meritorious and can be able to work for you and be accountable to you, the people of South Africa.
Thank you very much.
Dumelang, lebitso la ka ke na Lawrence Manaka, and I'm from Rise Mzansi. So this is why people should vote for Rise Mzansi, and I'm going to start with context. So 30 years into this democracy, we have 5 out of 10 young people that are unemployed in this country. We have 3 out of 10 like general unemployment in the country. And this is not because the system is, the way it is, right? This is because we have an uncaring and a leadership problem in this country. So Rise Mzansi says that we can have all the answers and all the solutions, but if you do not have the right leaders to fix the system and the right leaders to take forth this country, everything else is just going to fail. So Rise Mzansi is proposing that we actually go and get new leaders that are going to be ethical, accountable, and most importantly are going to center people. And this is why Rise Mzansi, instead of writing the manifesto itself, went to communities and asked communities, what are your problems? It's not because we don't know that you don't have roads, but sometimes we think the problem is roads, but people frankly did not have food. And no one is speaking to that reality. So as Rise Mzansi, we're saying that we want to address the cost of living, we want to address the education problem, where kids literally walk 10 kilometers to school and some die in pit latrines. Rise Mzansi is saying that we want to reskill the people that are not skilled, reskill basically so that we can be able to absorb people, but we also want to skill more people. And lastly, before they close me off, Rise Mzansi is for the people, by the people, and this is why you must vote Rise.
Thank you, Mr. Manaka. Thank you, Mr. Manaka. So who won that round? So I'll start with Mr. Khaikake from Civil Society Forum, and think of your questions. What we won't be able to do is have everyone answer every single question, but think of it as an opportunity to make your voice heard. You can make a comment, you can ask a question, and then we'll ask the panelists to respond to everything that's been said and summarize it.
I'm flabbergasted that all political parties that are here, they are speaking one thing. There's nothing different that they are generally speaking in terms of contestation that is differing. But I want to check with all political parties that in South Africa, we have triple challenges: inequality, poverty, and unemployment that is facing the country currently. I want to hear their input on where to address these triple challenges, but also checking the fact that there is too much influx of people from other countries because they love South Africa generally. What is that they are going to do to ensure that they minimize the influx of dwelling of people in the country so that the people in the country can be catered accordingly in that order? Thank you.
I hear that you guys have been talking about education, whatnot. Not to mention that the education system is also captured, right? We have a very serious problem in South Africa where we are still colonized, right? We are still colonized and nobody there is speaking about how we're getting rid of that. You understand? So my question to the panel here is that when we vote for you in the upcoming election, how are we getting rid of the people that have the economy? There's only a minority that has the economy, and I can assure you that everyone, literally almost 100% of people sitting here are unemployed and do not have access to opportunities.
Right. Thank you.
So my question to the panel over there is that before we can even get to solving unemployment, how do we get rid of colonization? We are still colonized as South Africa, and that's reality. Right. Thank you.
My question goes for Bossa, but not the Bossa team, the Bossa from MK. My question towards you, is emanating from the basis of education and skills development. My question is, you spoke about the mandatory subjects that you want to introduce, and I'm seeing this on the back of the skills shortage that is being recognized by the private sector. So you mentioned that there are subjects that you want to make mandatory, but you didn't say which ones and from which grade and how that rollout will work. So thank you.
Now, ndifuna ukuthetha isiXhosa ngoba si-free, zithe ezingokeli phaa si-free. Now ndifuna ke ndiye phaa kukhongolose kancane ndibuze kuNtate Paul Sibiho ukuthi le nto ye-tribalism bazayi-ayitheka njani. Sigqiba ngokuthetha ngokubana i-political parties zininzi ziliqela. Uyayiqaphela na into ehambisa abantu uba yeyiphi. xa kuzwa kwi-tribalism. Nizayi-atheka kanjani ikhongolose? Umsebenzi omninzi seniwenzile siyawubona, qha ngeke akho ndlu ingenangxubakaxaka yoxanduva. Indlu nendlu inengxubakaxaka.
Okay, enkosi.
Mandigqiba, ndicela kuni nonke apho ngaphambili, andizuthetha silungu, nithe si-free, siphumile ke kuloo nto.
Thetha tata.
Ndifuna ukubana ndibuze kuno nonke apha uba niziqaphele na uba nibantu abamnyama kudlalwa ngathi yile DA.
Okay.
Le DA le ibhizi ngoku isendela ama-SMS marithetha nge-corruption. Why i-DA isendela thina ama-SMS uba siyivotele?
Okay.
Why?
Enkosi.
Mandla malibe linye.
Let's bring our panelists in. So what I'm going to ask, in the interest of time and to open up more questions, is that we got questions about colonialism and the triple scourges of poverty, inequality, and unemployment. And I'm going to put that question to the EFF. I'm going to put the question about education to the person who it was asked. And then I'm going to put the questions that were asked about tribalism and the SMSs to the DA.
In the EFF, we say, let us expropriate the land without compensation for equal redistribution so that we can address the issues of inequalities in South Africa. We are also saying, let's nationalize the mines. By nationalizing mines, we are also nationalizing the minerals, which will be extracted from those mines, and it will be a sole responsibility for of the state. So it means the state will own these mines and will own these minerals and will ensure that mines and minerals will benefit the community at large. So that's basically the fundamental issue that we as the EFF say we must do in terms of addressing the triple challenges in South Africa. Thank you.
Thanks.
Education. First, what we are going to do in education is to make sure that all indigenous languages are used in schools. We are not going to start at grade 1 teaching children the language that they're not speaking at home. All indigenous language will be used at schools. I said we are going to have mandatory trade subjects. Our manifesto, as I said, is a mandate from our communities. It will depend on our communities what they think will be good for their children at school. That is what we are going to implement. Okay. We are not sitting somewhere in a boardroom and thumbsuck what people want. We are still consulting with people on what do they want in their schools, what do they want in their communities.
We are one of the most diverse nations in the world, and we need to foster a sense of unity and love for one another, be you colored, Indian, black, white, Xhosa, Zulu, Sepedi. We need to find a unity amongst ourselves, because I come from a community where I serve one of the most diverse wards in Rustenburg, whereby I have an Indian community which is divided into Christians as well as Muslim community. I have a community of Xhosa speaking people. I have a community of Setswana speaking people, as well as colored people and Indian people. And if a leader cannot make sure that the people is united, then you are not a leader. And if you cannot make sure that tribalism does not affect the livelihoods of the people in one community, then you are not united. And once we are, as leaders, take an upper position to make sure I will lead the people, then we need to lead beyond the color lines, beyond tribalism. And for that factor, I believe that we still, as South Africans, have a long way to go to making sure that we fight tribalism and racism, because those two, I would believe, go hand in hand, because racism still is affecting in South Africa as much as tribalism is.
I don't know what I level, but I never need qualifications. Who's on I apply, I share medical baritsamaku cancel, we should do. But cancel about only 3,500 and a quitaka. But to Mamma Dimur, relapile. Ari Lueng, Ribanor Nariakai. And a young woman RDP, I like RDP, who got 10 years ago. Let no, Kisa Yemage, who naga RDP bar on a little guy. But to Nantongo Bacheletana. And Renaka Pusho Ritelberga Chelet, Takanam Hono, Chelet Leon, Katon Hateti, Jalebo, ANC, Jopala di Carabo.
Thank you.
Okara di party, ke tsa mo metse setropo. Ko metse selegae ba tla ge ba shota di vote. Re batla go itse gore ka gore ko metse selegae ba gaetso. Re utlwa le bua ka education le bua ka eng. Le ko metse selegae ba gaetso go na le bana ba ba tshelang dinoka. Ba tsamaya ka maoto ene bana ba ko primary. Ene bana bao ga o sena tšhelete ngwana go ka setane sekofo. Mpotse ngwana go a ya ko sekolong ka maoto. Mare bentse le tla go rona re voutele. Ena gape go na le so se se tseng ga o le ngwana o goletse kwa eno o ka se tlogele lapa la kwa eno o ro ya go petjana o ya go lapela go next door kwa eno ke kwa eno ba ga to let's go and vote. The parties, all the parties do the right thing for the people.
Goreng ko masepala wa Khetleng mayor o ile ngwa lona wa ANC a tswetse di reservoir a tima baagi metsi a ba tsa diteraka tsa dichomi a di tsenya mo masepala ka nako go fedile metsi o bula di reservoir tla tsa diteraka tseo baagi ba kra metsi baagi ba khona nna 2 weeks ba sena metsi monna o le o go Khetleng o mosweu o tima baagi metsi. Goreng ko Madibeng Municipality ntate mogolo ole o ile mayor wa ANC a tlogela di illegal connections tsa motlakase gona anong go na le ngwana o tlhokofetseng ka freita ngwana o mokana.
How are you going to rectify the mistake of the borders in South Africa? Because the South African cry out, balidisiwa ke gore South Africa, the population is over because of the foreigners. How are you going to rectify this mistake?
Now go back to the issue of tribalism. It starts with the leaders that we have, the incumbent leaders that we have. Because we have leaders who are irresponsible in public domain, especially when they get the mics, they get too excited and they start uttering things that are very divisive in our nation. You'd find leaders uttering things like Northwest belongs to the Tswanas and the Xhosas here, or the Mbondos belong to the Eastern Cape and only the mines and here should work so and so. You find leaders who are calling people in the Western Cape who are from the Eastern Cape or who are black and calling them Imbatu. Indaba, when they go to the Western Cape, funeke babene passports and dompas is taking us back into the olden days. So it starts with our leaders, and for us to be able to have a society which is unified and which works as a collective, we need to start with responsible leadership and ethical leadership.
So Rising Zanzi once more says that on the question of education and kids crossing rivers, we're saying that it's not only kids that are crossing rivers, but we've also seen kids that die in pit latrines. We see kids that continue to walk to school. Rising Zanzi is saying that this is a leadership crisis, and it's time that as South African citizens get involved. For the longest time, the political establishment has been about political leaders and not necessarily about people. And Rising Zanzi is saying that in order for us to go and fix and rectify this mistake, we are asking everyone on the 29th of May to go out and vote. And when you are voting, think about the kind of leadership that you want in your different communities.